to ask for help or to accept help, is a form of weakness, you know.
I couldn't disagree with that more. I find, for me, the ability to have a powerful woman to nurture my soul when I just had to fight the world is everything.
You have this thing in place, this system in place, this symbiotic, relationship that is towards the goal. The podcast is where it is because you had those clear visions from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then those clear visions manifested, and Branden was like, wow, the timeline was right, and the things did happen. Fantastic. I was thinking about that something earlier when I was coming over here. They were talking about like one of the most important choices we make is the partner that we pick.
Absolutely.
And the people that we have and stuff. And I was thinking about my life and the partners that I had, and I and I wondered, like, would I be further along in my path if I would have had a partner that believed in me?
Would be a completely different path.
Right? I mean, to me, it's a speculation, right? And then I looked back and I went into like, okay, have I had any partners that was like, fucking Zon, you gotta get it, go? And the answer is no, And then I was like, okay, have I believed to be that person, before to attract such partner? And the answer was no. Or it was like, kinda, not a no. It was like, yeah, I wish, kinda, sure. But not like, fuck yeah, So that's the part of it that became really interesting. And you're saying that because it's not like in the realm that we live in of like this masculinity and masculine energy and leading and providing all of that, it's just, I have a perception sometimes that to receive help or to ask for help or to accept help, is a form of weakness,
I couldn't disagree with that more.
Yeah, no, because you have the other opposite of this spectrum.
But even, I get where you're coming from, right? I would say do more work on killing your ego, okay? Because look at history's greatest leaders, right? History's most prevalent men that have done things. And you'll find common threads, and one being that they absolutely believed in themselves. And the other is that they absolutely believed in the people that they delegated responsibilities to. These people are like, there's a reason that the president of the United States of America, the leader of the free world, has a cabinet, right? Because you can't do all the things on your own.
Yeah. Then rewinding even more, like I'm going to go on a tangent here.
Go.
So how, like, we're talking about the main leaders of the world, right? The captains, the people that burned the ships,
Sure,
the Marcus Aurelius, the Alexander the Greats, all of these men of the presidents, the people that, the
even
generals,
the bad ones, though.
Even
Nero,
the bad ones.
like,
or the guy with the H, you know what I mean? Like
the guy with the mustache?
It was here, right?
Yeah.
It was right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it bald there? Or
No, I think it was a little bit.
Yeah.
You know that Charlie Chaplin guy?
Yeah, same as
from the Charlie Chap, the great dictator.
Yeah.
Well,
he was an actor like 100 years ago. A lot of people don't know that.
He's also a kid diddler. Go ahead.
He really enjoyed cocaine too. That's
I think that could take a backseat to the fact that he was with children. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, the point of the extrapolation that I'm going into is that when have we or anyone, have brought up the women of these leaders?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if there's like who were the queen? Who was the queen of the king? Like, did he really have something to do with this guy? Did Alexander the Great have like a, some badass wife that freaking empowered him to conquer the world?
Zon, are you trying to say that you don't like or respect women?
No, completely the opposite.
Oh, okay.
I think that completely the opposite. I mean, we know that Jesus had Mary Magdalene. That worked.
Well, like,
like, why isn't that
I didn't
not
read the history on it, but like I loved in the movie 300,
yeah,
where like the main dude name escapes me.
Leonidas,
thank you. Had his woman, and he's like the epitome of macho, and then his woman was the epitome of femininity, and like, you know, he's feeling some certain way, and she's like,
get it,
I got you.
Yeah,
you're a man, right? I was actually just having this conversation with my girlfriend the other day, and I was talking about, and let's get past all the Kevin Spacey weird shit. However, in the show House of Cards, just speaking on it as a scene in a show, there was a scene where Kevin Spacey's character, Frank Underwood, yeah. There's a scene in House of Cards where Frank Underwood is defeated, right? And he does all these manipulative things. He's a super powerful man, blah, blah, blah. But he got defeated. He got beat. And his wife, Claire, comes in, and it gets a little bit graphic. However, she starts talking to him about being a man, you know, talking him up. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like,
what is available out there?
But the point to that I'm getting at is that women inherently have these skills about them. Yes, obviously their sexuality, right? But far more than that is their ability to nurture and to nurture the soul, right? So as men, we put on our masks, we go out into the world, we go to war with the world, and we come home and we got cuts and scrapes and stabs and all the things. And I find, for me, the ability to have a powerful woman to nurture my soul when I just had to fight the world is everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's very obvious in my family who the matriarchs are. The women who bring peace to their significant
Absolutely.
other, as opposed to chaos. Right?
See,
it's very obvious.
I think I love this because what comes up is like, you know, talking about women empowerment, right? Totally crazy turn here.
Right.
But what if we knew who their wives were? What if, you know, if we knew, like we were as men were empowered to nurture this union, you know, as a covenant of empowerment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think there is one example in history that said that was like a power couple besides what we just talked about, Leonidas, because we saw it in the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's also a movie. We don't know if that conversation actually happened.
Correct.
Exactly.
But I do like the way that they portrayed that female character.
Yeah.
Was very well done. And the idea of having a support system as opposed to, oh, you're just a dumb man who doesn't understand. Let me help you,
or you just
figure out how to be
right.
a man and be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
They omitted all of that. It was I've
masterfully
got you.
crafted for sure. And like for me, the whole thing about it is like in this house, we play to our strengths, right? We recognize what we're good at and we play to those strengths. My girlfriend is a fantastic nurturer. She's a fantastic mother. She homeschools her daughter and she does amazing work. You've seen how brilliant that child is, right? Mm-hmm. And she keeps a clean house. Like she will not allow us to do a podcast without her coming in and cleaning the studio beforehand. And like you saw, she made me a meal while I was getting prepped for the show this morning. Like that's how she is. And I haven't asked for a single thing. This is how she is. And she is so happy to be a stay-at-home girlfriend and stay-at-home mom, right? But we do big things together. I could not be here if it wasn't for her.
That was the thought, you know, that I had it. It wasn't like a victim thing. Like, would I be any further if somebody loved me just right? It wasn't that, you know, it was like recognizing the path, you know, and seeing like, oh, okay, well, during that race, if I would have used these tires, I could have had more traction, you know, kind of troubleshooting towards the future. You know?
That, dude, I would have to say, stop viewing it on a linear timeline.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not further down the line. It's just a completely different path.
Well, which is also what we're talking about earlier about the podcast, you know, that the podcast is where it is because you had those clear visions from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then those clear visions manifested, and Branden was like, wow, the timeline was right, and the things did happen. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's what, on that book, The Science of Scaling, that I shared with you guys, that he talks about like how that a job takes just as long to do as you give time to it.
Yeah.
So if you tell yourself, or the example that he uses in the book, it was about putting the man on the moon. That he said, or Kennedy, right? He was said like, okay, let's go. We're going to have 7 years, to make this happen. And it was a total arbitrary decision, not whatever, the book can
the Soviet space race, like we then had to beat them, so we had to get there before them, so it lit fire under their ass.
But could that be being done in a year, in 5 years, in 6 months?
Right.
So that's what he's talking about, is like being able to weed out all of the bullshit out of the way, the unnecessary things that are going to prevent you from reaching that goal faster. So what you're explaining to me about your relationship, it is that you have this thing in place, this system in place, this symbiotic, relationship that is towards the goal, of getting the company, the meal, the relationship, whatever it is at that level that it's ideal.
This is the Lunatics and Legends podcast. We fully endorse Mark Lamb for Congress in CD5 here in Arizona.
Make sure to get out there and vote in the primaries July 21st from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
See you there.